Europe has long been a destination of choice for people from around the world. But in recent years, Europe is experiencing a dynamic shift in its demographics. With the Muslim population steadily increasing, Europe is home to an estimated 25 million Muslims, which makes up about 5% to 6% of the total European population. While Europe is known for its values of freedom, equality, and human rights, the reality for some Muslim communities can feel far different. From social prejudices to restrictive policies, there are numerous obstacles that make daily life harder for Muslims trying to live out their faith. In this video, we will explore 10 European countries where being Muslim is strain for people and community. Number 10. France. France is home to one of the largest Muslim populations in Europe, estimated to be between 5 to 10 million people, with around 9% of its citizens identifying as Muslim. The majority of Muslims in France are Sunni, with smaller minorities of Shia and non-denominational Muslims. Most of these Muslims have origins in North African countries like Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia, former French colonies. Muslims have been part of French society for decades. The relationship between the Muslim community and the wider French population has often been strained. This tension is shaped by a mix of historical events, political policies, cultural differences, and modern-day issues. One of the biggest sources of tension between the French population and its Muslim community revolves around the concept of secularism. France is fiercely proud of its secular identity, which separates religion from public life. The government is adamant that religious symbols and practices should not be visible in public spaces, such as schools and government buildings. This strict secularism can feel like a direct attack on their identity and religious practices for Muslims. One of the most painful chapters in recent French history has been the series of terrorist attacks carried out by extremists claiming to act in the name of Islam. In the aftermath of these tragic events, Islam and Muslims in France have come under increased scrutiny. Some French people worry that the rise of Islam in the country threatens their way of life, and that radicalization within Muslim communities is a danger to public safety. Number 9. Belgium. Belgium is a small Western European country known for its medieval cities, international political institutions, and famous chocolates. Belgium also has a large and growing Muslim population. While this diversity adds richness to Belgian society, it has also led to tensions between the Muslim community and the wider population. Today, Belgium is home to approximately 850,000 Muslims, making up about 7 to 8% of the country's total population. The Muslim population has grown significantly in recent decades due to immigration from predominantly Muslim countries and higher birth rates among Muslim families. The majority of Belgian Muslims are of Moroccan and Turkish descent, with many having come to Belgium as part of a wave of immigration in the 1960s and 70s. Belgium's Muslim population is concentrated in the urban areas, particularly in cities like Brussels and Antwerp. This makes it one of the most Muslim-majority cities in Europe. Many Muslims, they face challenges that range from discrimination in the workplace to difficulties in finding housing and education opportunities in Belgium. One of the key sources of tension between the Muslim population and the broader Belgian society is rooted in cultural differences. For Muslims, practices such as wearing the hijab, eating halal food, and observing Islamic traditions are central to their identity. These practices can sometimes clash with Belgium's secular and Western values, leading to misunderstandings and conflict. One of the most sensitive issues surrounding Belgium's Muslim population has been the rise of radicalization among a small minority of Muslims. Belgium was one of the European countries most affected by the rise of ISIS, and the country saw a significant number of young Muslims travel to Syria and Iraq to join extremist groups. This has led to fears within Belgian society about homegrown terrorism and radicalization within Muslim communities. Number 8. Denmark. Denmark, known for its peaceful society, progressive values, and high quality of life, is also a country facing increasing tension with its Muslim population. Over the past few decades, Denmark's Muslim community has grown significantly, now making up about 5 to 6% of the total population. Denmark's Muslim population primarily consists of immigrants and their descendants from countries like Turkey, Pakistan, Iraq, and Somalia. The arrival of these Muslim communities began in the mid-20th century, when Denmark, like many European countries, over time, this wave of immigration diversified, with refugees and asylum seekers. Today, Denmark's Muslim community is concentrated in urban areas, especially in cities like Copenhagen, Aarhus, and Odense. Many Muslims in Denmark are Danish citizens, born and raised in the country. One of the main issues Denmark faces with its Muslim population is the challenge of integration. Danish society is known for its strong sense of community and shared values, which are deeply rooted in secularism, individualism, and gender equality. These values sometimes conflict with the cultural and religious practices of the Muslim community. Denmark has strict laws regarding the separation of religion and state, and this has led to tensions over religious symbols and practices. One of the most controversial topics is the wearing of the hijab, or Islamic headscarf. Some Danish institutions have banned the hijab in schools and workplaces, sparking debates about religious freedom. Denmark has long been regarded as a country with strict immigration policies. Political leaders in Denmark have taken a hardline stance on immigration, with many calling for tougher measures to limit the number of asylum seekers and migrants entering the country. Many Muslims in Denmark feel marginalized and excluded from mainstream society. Discrimination in employment, education, and housing is a common issue faced by Muslims in the country. For many Muslims in Denmark, this growing Islamophobia is deeply distressing. They feel that their entire community is being unfairly judged based on the actions of a small minority of extremists. Number 7. Switzerland. Switzerland, known for its breathtaking landscapes, neutrality, and strong economy, and its population of around 8.7 million people, is made up of a diverse mix of cultures, languages, and religions. Over the years, Switzerland has experienced a steady increase in its Muslim population, primarily due to immigration from countries like Turkey, Bosnia, Kosovo, and North Africa. Today, about 5.5% of Switzerland's population is Muslim. While that may seem like a small percentage, the growing presence of Muslims in this traditionally Christian country has sparked various reactions among Swiss citizens. Many Swiss Muslims face challenges in their daily lives. One of the biggest issues is the clash between traditional Islamic practices and Switzerland's more liberal values. The construction of mosques and Islamic centers has often been met with resistance. One of the most controversial moments in recent Swiss history was the 2009 referendum, where a majority of Swiss voters supported a ban on the construction of new minarets, the towers often found on mosques. The cultural differences between Muslims and non-Muslims in Switzerland also play a big role in the strained relationship. Switzerland values individual freedom and secularism, which sometimes creates friction with more conservative Islamic practices. The overwhelming majority of Muslims in Switzerland reject violence and extremism. These events have led to increased scrutiny of the Muslim community. In the aftermath of major terrorist attacks in Europe, many Swiss Muslims have reported feeling stigmatized and unfairly targeted. These global incidents have also led to stricter immigration laws, tighter surveillance, and debates over Switzerland's national security. Number 6. Austria. Austria is a country known for its rich history, classical music, and breathtaking landscapes, but like many European nations, Austria is facing the challenge of managing its growing diversity. Austria has a population of about 9 million people, and around 8% of them are Muslim. Over the past few decades, the number of Muslims in Austria has increased significantly, largely due to immigration from Turkey, Bosnia, and other parts of the former Yugoslavia. This rise in the Muslim population has brought about a mix of reactions. Some Austrians have embraced the diversity, seeing it as a part of modern society, while others view it as a threat to Austria's traditional values. One of the main sources of tension between Muslims and non-Muslims in Austria comes from cultural and religious differences. Austria is historically a Christian country, with Roman Catholicism playing a significant role in its identity. Many Austrians are proud of their Christian heritage, and the rapid growth of the Muslim community has sparked fears that Austrian traditions and values might be at risk. These concerns often surface in debates about Islamic practices. The wearing of the hijab by Muslim women has become a hot topic in Austria. Others believe that wearing the hijab is a matter of personal freedom and religious expression. Another point of contention is the construction of mosques and Islamic centers. People worry that the growing visibility of Islam might change the face of their neighborhoods or challenge the dominance of Christianity in public life. The fear of Islam and Muslims has been growing in Austria, especially in the last decade. Islamophobia, the fear or hatred of Islam, has fueled negative stereotypes about Muslims. Many people in Austria associate Islam with extremism and terrorism. Despite the fact that the vast majority of Muslims in the country are peaceful and law-abiding citizens. Number 5. Netherlands. The Netherlands is often seen as a tolerant and open society, known for its progressive values and diverse population. It's a country famous for its windmills, tulip fields, and vibrant cities like Amsterdam. But in recent years, the growing Muslim population has created some strain between different groups, leading to tension and debates about the future of integration in the Netherlands. The Netherlands has a population of around 17 million people, and about 5% to 6% of them are Muslim. Most of the Muslims in the country come from Turkey, Morocco, and other parts of the Middle East and North Africa. The increase in the Muslim population over the years has sparked debates about integration, culture, and religion. While many Dutch citizens embrace the diversity that comes with having people from different backgrounds, others see the growing Muslim population as a challenge to Dutch identity and values. One of the main sources of tension is the cultural and religious differences between the Muslim population and the wider Dutch society. The Netherlands is known for its secular values, meaning religion is kept separate from the state, and people are generally free to live their lives without interference from religious authorities. However, the visibility of Islam, through practices like wearing the hijab, praying in public, and building mosques, has made some people uncomfortable. Islamophobia, or the fear and prejudice against Islam and Muslims, is a significant issue in the Netherlands. Many Muslims in the country face discrimination in their daily lives, whether at work, school, or even in public places. Number 4. Germany. Germany has long been known as a country with a strong economy, rich culture, and a pivotal role in European politics. In recent years, however, Germany has also become a major destination for immigrants, particularly from Muslim-majority countries. Germany's Muslim population has grown steadily over the years. Currently, about 5.5 million Muslims live in Germany, which makes up around 6% to 7% of the total population. Most of the Muslim community in Germany traces its roots back to Turkey, as many Turkish workers came to Germany as guest workers in the 1960s and 1970s. In recent years, the Muslim population has also grown due to the influx of refugees and migrants from countries like Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan, particularly during the refugee crisis in 2015 and 2016. One of the main sources of tension between Muslims and non-Muslims in Germany is the cultural and religious differences. Germany, like much of Europe, has a history of secularism, where religion is often seen as a private matter. However, Islam is a highly visible religion, with practices such as wearing the hijab, daily prayers, and the construction of mosques. These visible expressions of faith have sparked debates about the role of religion in public life. The construction of mosques and Islamic centers has also been a source of controversy. In some areas, proposals to build new mosques have faced opposition from local communities, who worry about the increasing visibility of Islam in their neighborhoods. This has led to protests and even legal challenges, highlighting the deep-seated concerns about the role of Islam in Germany. The rise in anti-Muslim sentiment, often referred to as Islamophobia, has been a significant issue in Germany. Many Muslims report facing discrimination in various aspects of life, from the job market to education, and even in everyday interactions. Number 3. Greece. Greece is predominantly an Orthodox Christian country, steeped in ancient history, known for its rich culture and traditions, has always been a bridge between Europe and Asia. It's a land where East meets West, blending different influences and cultures. But in recent years, the growing Muslim population in Greece has sparked discussions about the challenges they face, both socially and politically. Greece's Muslim population has grown for various reasons, including migration, the refugee crisis, and the presence of a long-established Muslim minority in the northern region of Thrace. Currently, the Muslim population in Greece is estimated to be around 5% to 6% of the total population. This may not seem like a large percentage. The Muslim population in Greece is diverse, including both Greek Muslims, particularly from Thrace, and immigrants and refugees from countries such as Syria, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. One of the most significant developments in recent years has been the influx of Muslim refugees and migrants into Greece, particularly during the European refugee crisis in 2015. Thousands of people fleeing war and conflict in Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, and other countries made their way to Greece, often using it as a gateway to Europe. The arrival of so many refugees in such a short period of time overwhelmed the country's resources and led to a sense of strain in many areas. The main sources of tension between Muslims and the broader Greek population is the cultural and religious differences. Greece, with its strong Orthodox Christian heritage, has often struggled to accommodate the visible presence of Islam in its society. Issues such as the construction of mosques, the wearing of hijabs, and religious holidays have sparked debates about the role of religion in public life. For many years, Athens, the capital of Greece, did not have an official mosque, despite the growing Muslim population. This was a point of contention for the Muslim community, as many felt that they were not being allowed to practice their religion freely. Islamophobia is a growing concern in Greece, as it is in many other European countries. The economic challenges that Greece has faced, combined with the large influx of refugees, have created a fertile ground for anti-immigrant and anti-Muslim sentiment. Number 2. Hungary. Hungary is located in Central Europe. It's primarily a Christian nation, with the majority identifying as Roman Catholic or Protestant. But in recent years, there has been a growing conversation around the Muslim population in Hungary and how their presence is viewed by the general public. The exact number of Muslims in Hungary varies, around 30,000 to 40,000 Muslims living in the country, which making up less than 1% of the country's total population. Most of the Muslims in Hungary come from Middle Eastern and South Asian countries, as well as North Africa. Many of them arrived as refugees, fleeing war and instability, particularly during the refugee crisis of 2015. The perception of Muslims in Hungary is deeply influenced by politics and media narratives. While some Hungarians are welcoming and supportive, a significant portion harbors negative views toward Muslims. Surveys indicate that many people associate Muslims with terrorism and crime, despite evidence showing that these views are largely unfounded. One of the main concerns that some Hungarians have is the idea that Muslims, as newcomers, might struggle to integrate into Hungarian society. The rise of anti-Muslim sentiment in Hungary has led to an increase in Islamophobia and discrimination. Muslim communities have reported incidents of verbal harassment, physical attacks, and vandalism of mosques and Islamic cultural centers. These incidents are often fueled by misinformation and fear, as well as by the portrayal of Muslims in the media. Islamophobia is not just a problem in Hungary, but across Europe. However, Hungary's political climate and the government's strong anti-immigration stance have created an environment where Muslims often feel unwelcome. Number 1. Italy. Italy, famous for its stunning landscapes, rich history, and vibrant culture, has seen its population become more diverse over the past few decades. Among these diverse communities, Muslims are one of the most notable. There are over 2 million Muslims in Italy today, making up a growing segment of the population. For many Italian Muslims, one of the biggest issues is the lack of recognition. Unlike other European countries, Italy hasn't officially recognized Islam as an organized religion. This means that Muslims don't have the same legal rights as other religious groups. For instance, unlike Catholics, Muslims cannot automatically access public funds to build religious centers, hire religious leaders, or offer Islamic education in public schools. One of the most visible struggles for Muslims in Italy is finding a place to pray. Italy has very few mosques compared to its Muslim population. While there are a few purpose-built mosques, most Muslims have to rely on makeshift prayer spaces or small community centers that can only hold limited numbers. The problem is especially tough for Muslim women who wear the hijab, or headscarf. Wearing a hijab in Italy can bring unwanted attention, from stares in public places to questions and assumptions about their beliefs. Education is also an area where Italian Muslims often feel the strain. Italy's public schools don't typically offer Islamic studies, which means that Muslim children rarely learn about their religion in a formal educational setting. There is also a challenge around holidays and religious practices. Italy's public life is centered on Christian holidays and customs, which can make it difficult for Muslims to celebrate their own holy days. Despite these challenges, Italy's Muslim population remains resilient and dedicated to their faith and identity. These 10 European countries where Muslims face unique challenges. Each country has unique factors that impact the experiences of its Muslim residents, and while many Muslims find success and a sense of belonging, these challenges are important to understand for those who seek to build more inclusive communities. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe.